Hello, hello. Welcome to Social News Network TV with Tim and Barry. How are you today, Barry?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Doing well, doing well.
Yeah, I'm doing well too. I don't know why, because we just put in our applications to OTAN, to NATO, which at least half of the Swedish population does not want to join. And
Oh, really? Because I heard Finland is joining this week.
yeah, this is the thing that I don't think you know about, but Sweden have been outside any type of war for more than 200 years.
Yeah.
Americans know our country as neutral, which is not really correct because we have been a part of wars in many ways by sending weapons and ammunition to many countries, which is not fair when you call yourself neutral, I think. But we also sent, the Stingers type of weapons to the Ukrainians against Russia. So they don't really like us regarding that. So the Swedish government and the Finnish government made a decision that we need to join NATO because they got scared of Putin.
Sure.
But NATO, in many Swedish people's view, are almost a criminal organization. They are a war fanatic institution with America leading it, and England and Germany, and it's not really a defense organization in many people's views, and it costs a lot of money. And
Trump was all about money.
Yeah, it's all about money. It's like the EU, it's like many other organizations. But the topic around it basically is that many Swedish and Finnish people, they want to join now because they need more protection. Yeah. Whilst the other side, who is against joining NATO, think of it as a criminal, globalist, Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab organization, where we have to pay a lot of money. Our young guys will be cannon food in wars all over the world, and many, many other negative things. But have you heard anything on American news? Because today I saw Sky News from Australia, and I saw British news, and they talk a lot about that Sweden and Finland is joining NATO.
Yeah, they had a segment on yesterday. I haven't watched the news this morning, but they did say that Finland has committed to joining NATO.
And Sweden did it,
and it's going to happen this week.
Yeah, Sweden did today, and we had the Finnish president in the Swedish Reichstag today for meetings. And the different parties got to ask him questions. They have a prime minister in Finland and they have a president. They have both, actually.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's really weird.
Well, who's the woman? Is she the prime minister or is she the president?
I forgot his name now. The old guy in Finland is the president. They have woman prime minister, and we have a woman prime minister too.
Right. That's what I saw. That's what they showed in America, is the two women doing like a simultaneous news conference. Yeah.
Magdalena Andersson is our prime minister, so to say, statsminister, as we say, state minister, and she's not elected. So a lot of my friends on YouTube, they say that we are a dictator country now. We're not a democracy because she was not elected. And it's true, because the Social Democrats, they were really smart. They told the former prime minister he wanted to go because he was so bad, but they did it tactically because the election is now in September. So bringing in a woman, a lot of people in Sweden will vote for the Social Democrats because they have a woman leader. And our Vänsterpartiet, which is the so-called Communist Party, and our Green Party, the Environment Party, MP, and our SC, it's called Centern, which is like the farmer country, the party of the farmers years ago.
Right.
That's also a woman, and they're all crazy women. They're crazy bitches, all of them. It's really, really, I can't tell you. So there is a lot of debate here on Swedish YouTube channels. Like,
you got too many different parties.
Too many different parties. I just told my viewers a couple of weeks ago, I think we should do like America, like one left, one right. Pick your choice.
Yeah, exactly.
We have so many.
Just have two parties, and then if you need a third, let it be independent. But you just can't have like 10 different parties representing and all screaming and yelling at everybody.
That's what we have now. We have left and right of so many parties, and they fight. And then we have a couple of new ones coming up. that are really, really smart parties in a way, but they will only, you need 4% to get into the, the Reichstag, as we say. I forgot the correct English word, but you always said the Reichstag when you talk about the Germans, right? So you have over 4%, and then the parties in the election.
Over 4% in order to join the parliament?
Exactly, parliament. That was the word I was looking for. And on top of that, then, so you need to either get over 50% on the right side, which is 3-4 parties, or the left side, which is 4 or 5 parties. But there is one party, the former party, Centern. They pick and choose. Sometimes the right, sometimes the left. So now they're left. So we don't know shit what's going to happen in September. But we think that since the Social Democrats picked a woman for their leader, unfortunately, she will continue and they will win, because they're using immigrants, just like the Democrats in America. They're using them as, if I translate it, we call it election sheep. I don't know what you say in English.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, there's pawns almost.
Yeah, like if you come to Sweden and you get social welfare and everything you want, of course you're going to vote for the Social Democrats, because they give you everything for free.
Right.
And we have a big
in America now too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what AOC and these people are trying to do, but they will lose big time, I think. But we'll come into that shortly. I'm just going to finish up Sweden by saying that we have a big Islamistic problem in Sweden. We have so many mosques. We have so many Muslims who wants to, take over with Sharia laws, and the police is scared and everybody is scared. If you say anything about the Muslims, you're a racist or an Islamophobe or all of that stuff. So we're in a tough situation with very, very weak politicians leading us.
You're going to lose your country.
Exactly. And what about America? How do you feel about America?
We are going to have a huge transformation come November with our midterm elections. The Democrats have gone so far left, as opposed to being, center, middle, or whatever. Like, even, I think I said this before in an episode, that the Democratic Party of Bill Clinton and Al Gore and who's the other guy, Joe Lieberman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember him. That party's gone. That party is gone. This whole new green socialist far left, everything for free. They want college tuitions to be free. They want, even if you have a student loan, they want it to be paid off. It's just some crazy, crazy stuff that's going on here in America. And I got a funny story to tell you later. I'm going to save it for the end. It's about a certain state in America, their educational department, what they're demanding. Okay, this is funny. Now, remind me to do this later.
Yeah, I'm going to remind you. All of my viewers know that I'm like demented. I forget everything I say.
All
like,
right, then I wrote it down.
I even tell my viewers to remind me to say things. Even so, during a live, it's easy, but because it's very interesting that when you do these programs and these shows, you know what you want to talk about. Sometimes you make notes, but when it's spontaneous, you can forget things. But I will try to remember that. I will try to remember that, because
I'll remember.
We decided to talk about 2000 Mules, right?
Yeah.
The movie.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I just want to say that as a comment to what you just said, because I've been wondering, how can Biden and Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi and Jerry Nadler and Shifty Ship, aren't they scared? They know that they've lied for 5 years and they keep on lying. Brennan and the other guy, CIA, FBI, they lie on CNN every day. And they sit there and they lie and they lie, and they know that they're lying. So I was so happy the other day when I heard that Joe Biden, he has hired a super famous attorney, because he knows he's going to be big time impeached.
Yeah, no,
and he's afraid that he actually could get into jail.
He's going to be impeached because I think they said two things. They said, number one is the border, because you took a sworn of oath to protect America and protect American citizens. and you
He
fail.
lied.
He lied about the border. That's number one. So he can be impeached over that.
Yeah.
And then number two, he can be impeached over the energy, because all of this stuff started from day one when he canceled the Keystone Pipeline. All of Donald Trump's energy policies, he just wrote it off. He canceled all of them just out of pure hatred. And that is affecting every single American right now, because our groceries are going through the roof. And I said this in previous episodes, but it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse. And gas is now up. It went up 10 cents in 1 week. I went to the gas station. Well, it was basically last week. I went to the gas station and it was $4.19 a gallon. And now I drove by yesterday and it's $4.29. So in 1 week, gas has gone up 10 cents. And that's a lot of money. And that affects everybody. And it's a shame. And that's another reason. So it's two issues that he can be impeached over: our energy policy, which is directly affecting every single American, and the protection of the American people and the sovereignty of the United States, which is the border. So they said, they were coming in. Yeah, they were coming in and they were saying that if Republicans take over the House and the Senate, that they will most likely move towards impeachment. And that they don't care about Kamala Harris. If she has to take over, she'll take over and impeach her too.
Yeah. I just wanted to show my calculator here, because our price, if I convert it to dollars and gallon, our price is $8.88.
Oh my God.
And the diesel is worse. It's $9.50.
Yeah, the diesel's worse. The diesel here is like $5.50 a gallon.
It's ridiculous. But I mean, and they also going to impeach him because he lied in Congress that he didn't know about his son Hunter Biden's business. They have 6 impeachment topics that he did illegal shit, and they want to ask him straight to his face: before you die, Mr. Kakaroch, how can you live with yourself and Dr. Jill knowingly destroying a whole country? You know that you're destroying it because you're stupid people in Brooklyn and in Minneapolis and in Washington State and Oregon are forcing you to do shit that you don't even want to do yourself. And even how can they destroy America for so many people?
Because they don't view it as destroying America. They view it as changing America.
Yeah, but they see the results, don't they?
They see the results, but they say this is a work in progress, is what they call it.
Yeah.
This is a transformation and a changing of America and American values and American, dominance on the globe, and they're changing it. And this whole hardship in their eyes is just a work in progress.
I like the comments of some of my Swedish friends on their channels when they say that, if you look at the Roman Empire, it lasted and it was super big and it just fell apart. And you look at the Alexander the Great, his Greek and half of Europe and Asia empire, it just fell apart. Did you know that Sweden, during the 1700s or whenever it was, we had half of Russia and almost all of Europe down to Turkey. We had all of everything and we fucked it up. So it's looking like...
That was the Vikings, wasn't it?
That was after the Vikings. That when we became Christians around there, and then we became friends with the Turks, and we just took over everything. And we were like, we had the Viking mentality, which we need today. Yeah. But I'm saying, I never thought when I was in New York with you, and when you and me worked in Miami and so on, in Florida and all over the place, I could never imagine 10, 15 years ago that you and me could sit and have a beer and say, America as a nation will be destroyed and disappear in a couple of years. Yep. It's so coming into that, Save America, they call it. The Trump party, GOP, and his as Biden is so dumb. Now he has made another, instead of let's go Brandon, they're all going to say King MAGA and Ultra MAGA. He doesn't realize that people like that.
The Democrats at some point came out with a talking point to label their opponents.
Yeah.
And somebody, a speechwriter or somebody in Congress, some Democrat, I don't know who it is, or maybe it's one of Biden's speechwriters, they came out with this ultra MAGA party, which is the ultra MAGAs are going to destroy democracy. And that's obviously all of Trump's fans.
Yeah.
Everybody that's a Republican is now labeled a Trump MAGA, ultra MAGA supporter.
Yeah.
And with that, you see Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Biden, you see all the CNN and all of these, it's a new talking point going on right now, labeling everybody ultra MAGAs.
So, and they missed the whole point that that's good for Trump.
Exactly. So they're trying to say that the MAGA community, which is Trump's community, is destroying democracy. And in fact, all of this stuff that's going on right now in America is the MAGA people. It's our fault.
It's fantastic that everybody. Yeah. Also, another impeachment topic was the fake and the very wrongly withdrawal from Afghanistan.
Yep.
That was also illegal. Yep. And so, to save America, Trump is doing rallies. Yep. He's pushing elections. It's Ohio tonight, right?
And no, today actually the primaries have started already. So
yeah,
the primaries have started. It's Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Okay, I heard Ohio, but okay.
It could be Ohio. I know, but right as of now, I don't know if you remember that guy who Trump supports, Dr. Oz.
Yeah, the doc. Yeah, he might win tonight, right?
He might.
Wasn't that Ohio?
No, that's Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
So that's very close. There's three of them for the Republican Party, and Dr. Oz is supported by Trump. So now what they're doing is they're going around labeling Dr. Oz as a MAGA supporter. He's a MAGA campaign.
MAGA king and ultra
MAGA king. So they're trying to label him already. Anybody that Trump supports, they're labeling them as the ultra MAGA party. Which is just so stupid.
But even Americans or I mean, Democrats in America are starting to face the fact that, okay, we didn't like this and this with Trump, but his policies were better.
Right. You don't have to, and even, I'll be honest with you, I was kind of annoyed with Donald Trump and his tweets at like 3:00 in the morning. I mean, come on, just go to bed. And even Obama made a joke about this. He's like, look, you like Donald Trump, you don't like Donald Trump, but if it's 3-4 o'clock in the morning, enough with the tweets. Go to bed.
Yeah.
Go to bed, get up, go into the office at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning and start over. Just go to bed. We don't want to hear you.
But on the other hand, I like the people that was on my side. I like the tweets. Okay, I was in America a lot at that time, but I mean, I woke up in the morning and I cling, and there was 6 tweets from Trump. And I was like, I got to put on some coffee. The guy is doing it again. I thought it was fantastic. I love it. 15
messages on your phone.
Yeah. I like that mistake that he's still using now, the coffee VV. You see,
I want to say something real quickly, not to change it, because we're talking about politics and we're talking about international stuff. I have done some research and I have Googled everything and I have just done my research on the internet. Do you know that Social News Network TV is, I think as of now, which I have done my best to research this, we are the only international podcast. Did you know that?
Well, I knew from what you said before, when you say international, you mean that we are one person like me in Europe and you're in America and we're doing it together like every episode.
We have one host in America, which is me, one host in Europe, which is you in Sweden, and we're doing a simultaneously together podcast every week.
And we need to tell our viewers this. So all of you subscribers in Sweden and all of our future subscribers in America needs to help us with this, that come in. Please write in the comment section below any questions you want about America or Sweden. It doesn't have to be just politics. It could be travel, airlines, hotels. tips to go to Key West or Bahamas.
Airline fares, unfortunately, now, and we're coming into the summer, and a lot of Americans want to go to Europe because it's opening up, but the airline fares is through the roof. It's crazy. But this podcast that we're doing, even though we're still early, we only have a handful of episodes. We, as of today, I think are the only international podcast with 2 hosts. One in America and one in Europe.
In 2 parts of the world, yeah.
Two parts of the world.
I can tell you from what you just said that I subscribe on a lot of channels, and I have my friend Krister from Swexy TV in the Philippines.
Yep.
We are doing Trump episodes. Then he's in the Philippines and I'm here. But we don't have a channel for it. It's his channel and my channel inviting each other.
Exactly. There's a lot of that.
Yeah, but we have one channel doing it together all the time. Yeah.
Correct.
So
I think that's fantastic. And I think that's a huge marketing tool that we need to promote. And to all our listeners and to all our subscribers, they can't find this anywhere on the internet.
In order to make it successful, we need to do like some of the Swedish guys, or actually Americans in Sweden. They have this topic like 5 things you didn't know about Sweden, and they air it to their 100,000 American subscribers and X thousand in Sweden. And we can do that, but on both things, like let's say 5 things you didn't know about Sweden or America, and it could be sports, politics, travel, anything our viewers wants to hear about,
Absolutely. I wanted to bring that up today in today's podcast, just because it's so unique. Social News Network TV is a very unique style podcast.
As long as we
don't get thrown off the internet.
Yeah, exactly. As long as because when we reach 1,000 subscribers, we need to be careful what we say.
We can't be labeled racists and all that stuff.
Yeah, But I have told everybody that Social News Network TV is TV Tim Sweden's extra channel if I get kicked off again. But we can tell everybody the same thing, that the Swedish platform Sweb TV, or actually, Swebtube. Swebtube is where I have my second platform in Sweden. So if anything would happen to Social News Network in the future, we're going to be on Rumble and on Swebtube. And as soon as you get the hold of that information, I think we should also link this YouTube channel to Truth Social, Trump's platform.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're currently putting together a web page, like a landing page where we can we'll join Twitter, we can join Facebook, Instagram, all these different social media, different platforms. I'm in the process of doing that now.
Good.
And we have links to the YouTube, our channel here. So we can just tell all our viewers, go to I already got the name, socialnewsnetworktv.com. And I'm in the process of putting that all together, and we'll have links where they can watch our videos and everywhere and on various different social media platforms, because not everybody watches YouTube, but they can go to our webpage and they can see us on Instagram, and they can click on Instagram, and then that will draw us to, our videos, our different episodes.
We'll post our episode here, and then we'll link it to all the other platforms. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So that's a work in progress also.
Absolutely. That's very good. So not to make this episode too long, we're trying to do 1 to 2 episodes a week. This time it's been a couple of weeks, but you have your job and I have mine, and it takes a little time. So we will get this worked out better in the future.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about the movie, because a lot of my Swedish friends have watched 2000 Mules. Some are looking at it, but they haven't found it maybe subtitled, and everybody doesn't know English that well. So if I ask you a question, you watched the movie, right? What is your first reaction to the movie, and did it increase your thoughts positively or negative that there was voter fraud and that Trump really won, or how do you feel it?
No, it increased my feelings about how dirty politics is. Just real downright dirty politics is. And it's a shame that technology didn't come out when Trump was I guess you could say protesting the results,
Yeah.
if you want to call it that. When he was questioning the results, too bad this technology that the woman and her business partner didn't come out with, pinging all the cell phones. When they ping those cell phones and you off the towers, and how many times these people went to these booths and with backpacks full of voter cards, mail-in ballots, and they just stuffed all of these boxes with mail-in ballots, and there was no regulation, no, I guess the word is they could do whatever they want. And
I like
nobody questioned it. And the only results where you had one person, and because they pinged his cell phone and they tracked it, and that was a great technology that the FBI caught on to it. And they remember that, and part of that movie, they asked that company if they could use his technology to catch some criminal. I forget who it was. That was incredible. And now the FBI uses it, and now they're using it to verify the results of the election by saying, okay, this particular, they call them mules, right? Obviously.
Exactly.
This particular mule went to one of these boxes like 5 times a week and just stuffed it with mail-in ballots without any validation of who the ballots were and this and that. And they said he drove around like all these different bureaus and these voting bureaus and stuffed all of these ballots, and they got paid to do it. So who was paying them to do it? The Democrat Party.
If it's 99% Biden votes, obviously it's Democratic people, right?
Yeah,
The Democrat.
yeah.
But I'm saying that when you see that they drove to 25, 50 different boxes, it's in the middle of the night. You're only supposed to drop off your own vote, right?
Yes.
So,
So why are these people coming in with like 200, 300, mail-in ballots, at 3 o'clock in the morning? Why didn't you just come there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? And then it was so funny, just not to cut you off. It was so funny to see certain people that they realized that they didn't want to get their fingerprints on the ballots. So if it's their first time, and then they realize, oh, I'm just pulling off my rubber gloves, and oh yeah, I know there's a trash can. How do you know there's a trash can behind you? Unless you've been there before.
Exactly.
They knew the area so well, and it really opens the door to change how these campaigns are run and how these mail-in ballots are they should be illegal.
Let me see if I can show you something here. I don't think you have this in America, but we have I have this background here, but I'll
put it in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. I might be able to do this. And I can explain it otherwise because it doesn't show. But we have something called bank ID. I don't know if you have that on your phone in America yet.
What is it?
The bank ID is you contact your bank and you download the app Bank ID, and then you have to go in digitally to your bank and prove with your social security number and ID and passport, let's say, that it's you. You create your own personal code. So when I click on my bank, let's say TD Bank or your, you have, what's the name of your bank again?
I have Wells Fargo.
Yeah, Wells Fargo or Citibank or any other bank. You go into the bank, you log in on your app on the phone, and to log in, you need to click on your bank ID. You press a 6-digit code and then you're in. You can transfer money right away. You can send money, receive money, pay your bills. You can vote. You can do anything. You buy your air ticket. As long as you have your own code and you click, and it's a bank ID. And everything is, you don't need a paper ID. You don't need a driver's license. You don't need anything. You just need the bank ID. And this is very famous in Sweden now. And we have also something called Swish. I don't know if you have it's coming in America, but Swish is, you click on Swish, you pick a phone number. Let's say I click on Barry and I click $200 and I click Swish, and you have the money in your account in 2 seconds.
We have that. We have stuff like we have Zelle.
Yeah, okay.
Zelle.
Yeah, but
Now
Swish was
PayPal.
Exactly, but Swish was the first one anyway.
Okay.
And I'm just saying that it's so easy because then you have to click that ID number. And in order to cheat, you can't do that because you get a number on your social security number with one vote.
Yeah.
Once you've clicked on that, every other vote is illegal.
Okay.
So when I saw 2000 Mules, I realized that for any American viewer, I was sitting on SVT, which is Sweden's state TV. I can't compare it to CNN or Fox News, but any sort of sort of a state television. We have free TV channels as well, advertising channels like that. But I was sitting there with some of the most famous Swedish politicians. I was sitting there with Ronnie Berggren, who's a Swedish writer, amongst other things. He's a specialist on GOP and the Republicans. And the Swedish TV people told me, and Ronnie and some of the other politicians, congratulations, Trump won again, my God. And this was Swedish morning, like, the next day, 2-3 a.m. So it was like 8-9 p.m. your time.
Right.
That's when Trump was leading with 500,000 votes in Pennsylvania.
Exactly.
And 50-60 in other states. And when you see 2000 Mules, and I hear PragerU, that guy, and Kirk something, whatever his name is,
Yep.
and all of the other guys there, and Dinesh D'Souza,
The shooter.
there is no question in my mind that Trump won.
Right.
And to be a Democrat like Pelosi and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and his wife Jill, and living your life and go to bed every night and wake up every morning knowing that not only did Trump win fair and square 2016, he won fair and square again. And his results were fantastic. We have destroyed the country, but fuck it all. We're just going to do it.
They don't care because in that movie, the documentary, all the swing states, the Pennsylvania, the Arizona, the Georgia, all those places where Trump was so far ahead come 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night that people would just say, no, Trump won. And then out of nowhere, all of a sudden Biden is up like 200,000.
Yeah, the next morning, Americans woke up. Like,
when everyone wakes up and has a cup of coffee and they turn on the news channel and they said, oh, well, Biden has won Pennsylvania by 200,000, and it's a miracle. And he won Georgia and he won Arizona. And everyone's like, what? What the hell are you talking about? Trump was up, at 10 o'clock at night. All of a sudden, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, Biden comes in with all of these mail-in ballots voting for him.
And then when Trump asked Pelosi on January 6th to put in 10,000 so-called, in Sweden we call it military police.
Yeah,
I don't know.
National Guard.
The National Guard, yeah. And she turned it down because she wanted to have this case against him.
She wanted the riot.
Yeah, so
and there was definitely, I guess, you can call them Antifa if you want, agitators.
Yeah,
they
were dressed in
FBI informants.
Yeah, and they did that, and it was ex-FBI, ex-CIA, a lot of people doing shit. And then they did the smartest satanic thing, like 666 satanic. They came up with the slogan against Trump. Oh, he's just doing the big lie again. The big lie, the big lie. Everything Trump says is the big lie. He's always been the liar. And they know that they're doing exactly what they're accusing him of.
Yeah, but they don't care. And they have the power of the media behind them. Yeah. When you have the power of the mainstream media covering for you.
So here's the question. When you watch this documentary and you think about what they're trying to do now against voter fraud and things like that, and you look at the people's situation with food, gas, energy, everything you just said before, I think that the GOP party, the Republicans, will win in a landslide, both the Congress and the Senate.
Yeah.
But do you think that they can manage to win if Trump wants to run, or if it's Ron DeSantis? Do you think that they can manage to have a sort of a checkup against this type of voter fraud again? Because if they do, they will win big.
No, they're going to push if we get the House and the Senate, they're going to push to basically eliminate mail-in ballots, because that was such a fraud. And the only reason why a lot of the states agreed to the change in mail-in ballots is because of the coronavirus. So now that that coronavirus is basically gone, you know, there's a couple variants out there, but nobody, you know, they're not shutting down the nation like they shut us down in
Exactly.
2020. So I think they're going to eliminate a lot of the mail-in ballots and the fraud that went on with that. They're just going to get rid of it all. And if you can get up and go to the grocery store, you can go get your hair cut, or you can go get gas, then you can go vote.
Exactly.
You know,
And I think it's okay that
enough.
the military abroad, and if you're in a hospital, that you could get help to vote, but
Yes.
it should be on some kind of digital ID or a secure paper ballot ID, and one vote per person, and that's it.
Yeah, I remember when I went to vote here in North Carolina, I gave them my driver's license and they said, well, we don't need that. I'm like, well, how the hell do you know who I am? And he's like, oh, well, you're in North Carolina. The state said you don't need voter ID.
That's sick in itself. And how?
I asked when I went there to register to vote. Well, I've already registered, but I went there to vote. And I sat down at the booth and I said, yeah, here's my driver's license. Here's this, here's my ID. He's like, oh, we don't need that. I'm like, well, what do you mean you don't need that? That's my ID. How do you know who I am?
Do you remember what Kamala Harris said when they asked her about the voter ID?
No.
I mean, she was so stupid, and she is really stupid. That's a stupid woman. She's pretty cute, but she's stupid. She said that Black people are living so far away from a Kinko's, so they can't go and make a copy of their ID. But Kinko's haven't existed for 10 years. They were bought up by Office Depot, wherever it was. And she's talking about Kinko's copy company that doesn't exist.
I remember that.
That's so, it's like, so when they asked people on the street in New York,
they call it voter suppression.
Yeah, but when they asked Black people, even in New York, IDs. Yeah, but even in New York, even in a democratic city like New York, they asked Black people on the streets. You know that guy Waters on Fox.
Yeah,
Jesse Waters. He asked people, "Are you too dumb? I see you're Black. Are you too dumb to get an ID? What the fuck do you mean, racist?" And he's like, "No. Yeah. Kamala Harris says you're Black. You're too stupid to get an ID." And they were really offended. So how can she say that to her own, so to say, people?
That's what they're trying to push. They're trying to say you don't need an ID because a lot of poor people and a lot of old people don't have access to getting voter IDs. They don't have driver's license anymore. They don't have a car, so why do they need a license? I mean, you need some form of ID when you get on an airplane. You know,
not only airplanes.
You have your airplane ticket.
Yeah.
And you go through security, and they match your airline ticket with your name and your face. They look at you. So if
you need to show
travel anywhere,
concert tickets sometimes, and train tickets, and baseball game, many things you need to prove your identity. And it's ridiculous that you should have an election, but everybody knows the Democrats are cheating. They know they can't win. I would have applauded their voter fraud. I would have applauded if any of their results were much better or a little better than Trump's. But when you destroy a whole nation for your own families, for your own friends, for your own country, then it's not fun anymore.
It's not fun, and it's sad because there's a lot of millions and millions of people here in America that are hurting, really hurting because of these Democratic policies.
Yeah.
And I don't give a damn about Joe Biden. It's more about his policies.
So we're getting up to an hour here, and I just want to ask you a last question before we come into the finishing part here. Do you think that Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis and Abbott in Texas and Rand Paul and all of these people, do you think that they're real Republicans with Trump leading them? Do you think they can save America, or is it too late?
No, they can bring us back. We can rebound if we seriously get policies back in a straight line, so to speak, because they've gone so far off course. They've gone so far that I think if we just get the true leadership, the Republican Party back in power, we can bring all of these cancel all these stupid policies and get our country back in order. Moving forward straight. And they can call us anything they want. If they can call us the ultra megas, the mega party. I don't care what they call us. It's names are irrelevant. Just it's got to be about policy.
So next episode, on top of new things that will probably happen, let's try to dig in a little more to what's going on with the NATO and how Americans see. I saw the news today. So let's investigate a little bit what American news are saying about Sweden and Finland joining NATO, because I know that Tucker Carlson and Hannity and all of these guys, our friends, they will talk about that. And I just want to say thank you to all of my Swedish subscribers on TV Team Sweden who is helping us here at Social News Network TV to subscribe. And if there's any American out there, please share this episode. And
let me ask you a question. Is there any way we can have that 2000 Mules link to our podcast? Is that legal or no?
No. I can do that. I actually
just put it up. So people know what we're talking about.
I put it up on my SwebTube channel.
Okay.
So it's there. But what I can do, I can put the link to that episode up here on this episode. If there is anyone out there, American, Swedish, or from who managed to find us from in the world anywhere, maybe some guy in Brazil find us, I will put in the description box the link to this documentary, 2000 Mules, that describes the voter fraud in America on the election 2020.
Yeah, that'd be great. Because that's the first thing after I was done watching, I was like, oh man, we got to try to link this to our podcast.
Yeah.
I think also all of our viewers need to seriously take into account what we said earlier in this cast episode about the only international simultaneous podcast with two different hosts.
I think that any Swedish person who is watching this, or any American of mine or yours or our subscribers, please share it to anybody you know living outside Sweden, outside America. If you have a Swedish friend in Italy, in Spain, if you have an American friend living in Canada or Germany, share it with them so that we can
share it with them,
spread the
email
whole
the
thing.
link. If they don't watch YouTube all the time, just share the link.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at my face, if you look at you, Tim and Barry, what's not to like?
Exactly. Make sure you subscribe. Now, how we've been doing this for an hour?
Yeah, it's a little more than an hour, and it's episode 7, and I just want to say
time goes by so quickly.
Yeah, I know. We will do more episodes and have more topics worked out, so it's a little more professional. But for now, we're freebasing, like I say, and it's kind of fun. And we'll build a channel. We'll grow and grow, and we're soon up to 600 subscribers. We got to reach 1,000. So help us reach 1,000, and then we'll see. I have a very cool live on Thursday with 3 famous people. I would say internet famous in a way. Johan Widén, Lennart Matikainen, and Katarina Janusz. And we will talk about Sweden politics and NATO and so on. And I will ask them if it's possible for them to share this episode as a link to their Swedish channels to see, because that will take us over 1,000 right away. So I'll beg them on my knees and see if they will help me with that.
Yeah, absolutely. We need all the help.
And I will send it to some other friends like Christer on Swexit, who has a fantastic channel from the Philippines. Håkan Bergmark in Sweden. He's also he's a diver, I think, military diver or private diver. Cool. Originally, he's a very interested in politics, very nice guy. And then we have Øystein Rønne and the angry foreigner living in Lithuania, in Letland. He lives in Riga now. And his name is Johan, and he will help us and share it. So, yeah, I'll reach out to my friends, my YouTube friends, and see if they want to help us.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I guess I'm going to save my little humor comment because you didn't remind me.
Do you see? I always forget funny things or names.
You forgot it. You forgot it again.
I forgot it again. You do it.
You want me to do it now?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so you know all about the woke communities, right?
Yes.
The woke movement that's going on here in America, and I guess it's going on in your school system as well, and the critical race theories and teaching children, the young boys and young girls, that they don't have to identify themselves as a boy or a girl. They can identify themselves as a girl if they want to, So one of our very, very liberal states, Oregon.
Yeah.
They call it Oregon. Portland, Oregon. The Oregon Educational Department, ready for this, has demanded and passed some type of bill, or they are demanding that in elementary school, now I don't know how you guys have your school system, but we have elementary, junior high, and high school. They have demanded that all the schools incorporate tampon dispensers. You ready for tampon? You know what a tampon is?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, it's for women. They have demanded that all of the schools install tampon dispensers in all the boys' bathrooms.
So that when they
for gender equality.
when they go to the little boys' room, they can switch to a dry one and put the bloody one, the little tea bag, in a dispenser in the boys' fucking toilet.
Yeah. So what they're saying is, for gender equality, they don't want any difference between a boy bathroom and a girl's bathroom. And these dispensers are for free. So that means you don't have to put a quarter in them or anything like that. I don't know about you, but when I was in elementary school and junior high school, you know what these boys are going to do with those tampons. Mm-hmm. They're going to take them out. They're going to fill them up with the sink, and they're going to throw them against the wall. Stupid stuff like that.
They're going to go
to the janitors.
They're going to go to the headmaster's office and throw them in and
throw them up and stick them on the roof.
Yeah, like the
ceiling.
Like
spitballs.
So stupid. It destroys young people.
Yes.
This is more stupid than ever.
Can you imagine when you were in grade school and junior high school, 7th, 8th, or 9th grade, or even high school, and you went to the bathroom and you saw a tampon dispenser hanging on the wall? Now, that janitor's going to have to clean up this mess, because all these kids are going to go in there. They're going to pull the tampons out of the dispenser, and they're going to throw them in the sink, fill them up with water, and throw them on the ceiling.
The only girly thing I wanted to see when I was in 7th, 8th, and 9th grade was when we sneaked in and watched into the shower after gym class or gym, not during their goddamn period week. Shit. It's stupid.
For no other reason than to make it the schools gender equality.
It's sick. It's so sick. It's sick.
That's what's happening.
But I will put not only the link to the 2000 Mules movie or documentary, I also remember that I made a funny slide about what you're just talking about transsexuals and this and this and this and this and Biden. I have a very funny slide that I will put in the middle of this episode, or actually in the end, like right after we finish here. Remember, people, to watch this slide, and you will laugh your ass off, and you, Barry, you will also laugh. So I'll put that in there, and it's something I came up with now when you told me this.
We'll write it down because you're going to forget.
No, I won't forget that. But I have to go, and I have to say thank you for today, Barry. Yep. And as I always finish my episodes, peace, love, and understanding.
Yeah. So listen, thank you. And I hope we start gaining some subscribers. So we're doing really well, actually, in a time period.
Getting over 500 in a few weeks is really, really good. And if I can get my fellow YouTubers to support us, and if we can find ex-American shows to send our links to, and we will grow fast. Once we get that information out there, that we're an international podcast, exclusively, one in Sweden, one in America, that could be really cool, actually.
Yeah, I think that's a huge marketing tool, because I have not found any. So if our viewers know of one, let us know. Send us the link. We'll look it up. I have not found one in my research. That's why I wanted to mention it today.
Good night, everybody. See you next time.
Thank you very much.
You look at what's happening last night in Sweden.
Aliens. Aliens. Aliens.
Bye-bye!
Tryck på länken här nere i stort sett nu snart och se mitt avsnitt idag om barn och barnen och annat ni ska få höra. Jag är kokarg idag